Hi everybody, welcome to Nazar Circus. How are you guys doing? Today I am very excited, and I will tell you why. My guest today is somebody you guys have heard from. She speaks her mind. She does not care what you think. She's very vocal, she's raw, she's honest. So that's one of my guests. And my second guest is her friend, Carol. So Carol has asked me to introduce her. So Carol, say hi.
Hi.
And then the other guest, who is the one you guys probably know, I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Chika, Jenny Okafor. Nice to be back.
You know what? We don't know you as Chika. We all know you as Jenny.
Jenny, yes.
So guys, today I am at Jenny's house drinking my nice hot coffee. It's cold and we are having a conversation that concerns all of us, especially those of us that live out here in the diaspora. And today we are talking about the recent killings, suicides, marriage breakdowns of the spike. I would say there's a spike.
There is, yeah.
There's a spike in breakdown of relationships, marriages, very awful stories about people taking their lives and people killing themselves or whatever. And today we just want to talk about this big issue and we want to dissect it and just start with what is going on. So Jenny, I know that you're very active with what's happening in the news, and if you guys follow Jenny on Facebook, you'll understand what I'm saying, right? So Jenny, what do you think about what's been going on? All the breakdowns and nasty things that we hear.
It's quite concerning for me, but I must be honest, I am not surprised. The reason why I'm not surprised is that I sincerely believe that as Black people, especially Africans, and if I narrow it down, Nigerians, we do not marry for love. A man marries a woman because she's beautiful. A man marries a woman because she's from a good family. A woman marries a man because he's handsome and he is rich. And what we forget is that when marriage is not based on love, the foundation is not love, immediately you achieve what you want, everything goes in the different directions. If I married a man because, it's my ambition to be married to a rich man who would make me comfortable and all of that, immediately I achieved that goal of being married to a very handsome, rich man. He buys all my designer handbags. He buys food. He provides for the children. We drive around in big cars. That is an aim that has been achieved. So it's fulfilled. So what next? Then I begin to see that he is not really who I want to be with. But if it's based on love, no matter how poor he is, no matter how dirty he is, no matter how he is struggling and all of that, you are in it together because you have a goal, and the basis of your relationship is love. So no matter what happens, love does not know wealth. Love is not bitter. Love is not angry. Love does not hurt. So I think that, to let Carol say something and you say something if you want, I think that the big thing is that we do not marry for love. The foundation is not love. And once you get what you want, everything else waits. You want something next. And that thing you want is not in the man or in the woman you're married to. So, and forgiveness becomes a problem. If it is love, and something goes wrong, you can look in my eyes or I look in yours and say, you silly boy or you silly man, you're still the man I chose and everything. Stop being petulant, stop being childish, and we'll make it up. But if it's about money, he says, look, here's money. A guy said to me, what does my wife want? She's always trailing me. I keep enough money, anything she needs. My office knows that if she needs money, she gets everything. The children go to the best school. What does she want? She's always trying to get me home. And she doesn't know what she needs. She's not trying to get him home because she's missing him, because she loves him. But she thinks that he needs to be home because she's home as well.
So Carol, do you agree with Jenny about the background, the foundation being the issue? Because do you think that that's what's causing all these fractured relationships that we're now seeing?
Well, to some extent, yes. But then I would say that sometimes people do marry for love. Sometimes people actually fall in love and marry their sweetheart or who they think is their sweetheart, because this is how they're feeling. So they marry, and then they're hoping that this marriage is going to be till death do us part. But unfortunately, that person that you love so much might not love you the same way. Might not love you the same way you love him. And then when you are doing your best for this person that you married out of love, and actually showing this love, and you're not getting it back, you're not getting the love back, then there's going to be friction.
It's not coming back to you. What
Yeah,
you're
it's
putting
not
in.
coming back to you. What you're putting in is not what you're seeing. It's not coming back to you. So where will I get all my emotional support from? Because I can't get it from this man that I married. I was hoping that we will be very happy together. But then now, all his attention is outside, is somewhere else. So I see myself as someone who's just at home to make the home, cook, tidy, look after our children. And so
And you're not valued.
I'm not valued.
And going on that as well, you love this man with all your heart,
Yes.
and that's where your spirit is, that's where your soul is, that's where you want to be.
Exactly.
However, his spirit and soul and passion and everything is somewhere else. He may have married you because everybody says she's such a beautiful girl, she will make a good homemaker, she will be a good mom. So he did that to make sure that he has good children. So the more you try to love him, the more he feels overwhelmed. Like your love repulses him because he doesn't understand it. He hasn't got the capacity to appreciate it. So I really see that point as well.
Carol, I understand what you're saying, right? But I think that for me, what I'm wondering is why the marriage is here in the diaspora. It seems like all of a sudden, every day when I wake up, it's somebody that I know is divorced, getting divorced. What is happening out here?
Yeah.
Why? What is happening out here?
Can I put in something in there? Yeah. The thing is, when people are back home, assuming that this couple knew each other from back home, and they've married from back home, right? The atmosphere and the law and everything back home is slightly different from what they see here. So once the women come over here, they think, oh, there's freedom in this country. I can actually talk, and nobody's
going to have a voice.
Yeah, I can actually have a voice and actually speak to my husband and tell him whatever and however I feel. And if he beats me, I'll call the police. They get this freedom to speak out, which they will not be able to do in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, your husband could be killing you.
Yeah,
and nobody is coming to rescue you. And you know how it is in Nigeria, even if you call the police, they're not interested because they say it's a domestic affair.
What police are you? First of all, what police?
Exactly.
Okay, that's a really good point. And that's a really good point. So, for people that's Japa, as we like to say, people that have come over, and I think that's the majority of the stories that we're actually hearing now. It's a case of woman has come over here, woman was submissive to the core in Nigeria, didn't speak, and now she's over here and she's now, getting herself enlightened about everything.
And she wants to be heard.
Yeah. Jenny, what do you think about that?
I agree with you, and this is the reason why I keep saying to people, why do we have organizations that deal with women empowerment but not men empowerment? Absolutely. How can an so empowered woman who is now more enlightened and more aware of her rights, what is right and what is wrong, live with a man who is not equally empowered? Are we saying that men are naturally empowered to be men, be husbands and fathers? If I become very empowered, I've learned about my rights, I now understand that my husband shouting at me and refusing to eat is emotional abuse. I now understand that my husband pulling my hair or pulling me back on my wrapper and saying, sit down here, I'm talking to you, is physical abuse, right? But this man doesn't understand that this can be a problem. As far as he's concerned, this was how his father dealt with it, and he was fine. And back home in Nigeria, if anything like that happens, the whole village will come out of it. Oh, he's your husband. He can tell you what, he can correct you. And I had this situation where a guy was saying that he married his wife at the age of 17 while he was 36 or thereabout, and that his father recommended that he married her then so that he could groom and grow her the way he wanted. So he did.
To mold her.
Yeah, he molded her. He molded her into what he wanted. And then when their children started going to school, they had issues with primary school and everything. They decided, because he had money, to bring them over to England. So the children came to England. They were going to private and boarding school. Everything was fine. And wife was spending time with them. But he realized that anytime he came here, his husband wasn't his wife wasn't the same. She was beginning to challenge certain things. She's now complaining about stories about him messing around with women. Whereas in Nigeria, she knew that he was messing around with some women and she never complained. And he became worried and said, now, whenever the children go to boarding school, you come back to Nigeria, you're not staying here. But they had little ones who still go to primary school. So she said, I'm not going to put them in nursery, in boarding school and come back to Nigeria. So I'm staying here. So that was here where that problem started. His father owned the house, which he inherited when his father passed on, and registered it in his name. With the advice the woman got, he came here and they said, sorry, guy, you can't come in. And he was like, what are you talking about? He was ready to fight. And when the woman detailed everything he did and said to her, he knew that they were true, but he couldn't believe that she was upset and never said it. But the problem is, how could she have said it and you will understand? So now it takes me back to the point that we are empowering the women to realize what their rights are, but we're not taking the men along. I had suggested to a group of young men, I even went as far as drafting the documents and the notes and said, look, you guys go and form a group where you can talk to each other, find out what's going on. If you're not happy, call lawyers and solicitors to come and give you advice on your rights and responsibilities. But men are ashamed to admit that they are inadequate in a way as men and husbands. It's not working.
I think that's very important, what you just talked about, younger men, because many of us have gone past the age of marriage or whatever, right? And I'm now thinking about the ones that are coming up, our children that are coming up. What would you say to, I know your sons are married now, if you had a son that was not married and he wanted to marry, what advice would you give him?
Yeah. The advice I gave my children, and which I will give to any other child, or if I still have a son, is marry someone that loves you and that you love as well. Yeah? And marry someone at your level. Never marry a woman without ambition. Never marry a woman who doesn't have something to do as a full-time job or a profession. Because if you go and marry somebody who doesn't share your passion and knowledge, and you are at different places where you have to be the breadwinner, you're going to die, because you need to buy all the weaves, you need to buy all the handbags, you need to buy all the fashions and everything. You need to get a woman who is self-sufficient. And the reason why I gave that advice is that growing up as a child, I had uncles who were very wealthy. They had wives who were completely illiterate, didn't have any business, didn't do any work. They were, glorified housewives and then dressed up, and everybody revered them in the village. But then when some of them died, this question of something I posted today again about next of kin, because they didn't trust the women to have enough knowledge or capacity to manage their affairs, they left their own siblings in charge of their wealth. The siblings in turn disinherited the children, used the money for themselves and their own children. Children were out of school and children have become nobodies, whereas their fathers had so much money. So I said to my children, you need to actually know that any woman you bring into your life is one that, if anything happens to you, will continue to give your children the same standard of life that you set out to give them. But if you go and marry a nobody, all she will do is start chasing men who will give her. They will abuse your children and abuse her. And whatever you think you may be protecting or may have protected would have gone. So I think that, for me, for the younger generation, make sure that you meet and marry people who are at the same place as you. Share your passion, share your ambition, share your visions for yourselves and your children.
Carol, what do you think? What would you say to okay, let me give you a specific question. If you had a son out here in the UK and he wanted to go to Nigeria and he met a girl, say he went to Nigeria to visit, he met a girl, they started dating, and he comes to you and says, Mom, I want to marry this girl. What would your take be? And there's a reason why I'm asking you this question.
I'd like to chip in there after.
The thing is, to start with, my son will tell me, Mommy, sorry, I'm going to marry somebody that I know. And that person needs to be here. So that's what my son would say. And my advice would be to him, please, marry whoever you want. I'm not going to tell my son to go to Nigeria and get a wife, because the ones that I saw that they brought from Nigeria here are the ones who are breaking their homes every day.
But what if he says, Mom, I'm in love with her. I'm in love with her.
You're in love with her.
I'm in love with her.
Well, in that
because
case,
it happens.
Yeah. If he's in love with her, then he can bring her over, and live with her for about a year or so before getting married.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get at. So you would say, don't jump into it.
That's right.
Get to know her properly.
Yeah.
And Jenny, this brings us back to, or this makes me think about, I don't know about other cultures, but I know Igbo, our culture, there's something we call Ijuase.
That's right.
And that's one thing that scares me with this younger generation, because they don't understand this Ijuase. They don't want to hear about it.
Yep. Chichi, I'm so pleased that you mentioned that point. And as Carol said, get to know who you want to marry before. Don't rush into it. There is need for you to have friendship. You need to know what her expectations are, and you need to be an open book so that she understands, or he understands, because he could go both ways, what you want. Yeah. But what I see is that sometimes some people go to Nigeria, young girls, young boys, they meet nice people, they just jump into it, social media, they get married and things, and it won't happen. The truth to me is that the average Nigerian girl is very, very streetwise. She knows what she wants. And she has been brought up with that mentality that she is a man's responsibility. She doesn't have to add to anything. All she needs to do is dress up, look well, cook food, give you food. Her money, if she's working, is her money. Your money, whether if she's not working, is both of you use your money. Right. So you need to account to her to everything. And she sits down here, she compares you to other men. And the truth is that the average British-born Nigerian child, girl or boy, is not as street smart or wise as the girl in Nigeria. So I think I agree with Carol, what Carol says, date and be sure that you know each other. But if you ask me, I will be honest with you, I'm not supporting it. And this idea of some of our young boys, young men living in the UK, dating their young UK Niger-born British Nigerian girlfriends or others, and saying, "Oh, that's so wild because my dad says that Nigerian girls are different. I'm going to go and marry in the village," and then they go and marry in the village. They're making a big mistake because their fathers may have married mothers who were just controlled and conditioned to do things so that, she is a perfect wife. So they're looking for somebody like their mother. And then when they bring this new breed of Nigerians who have been who has grown up on social media, it's a different ball game.
So
yeah.
Back to this Ijuase, guys, because I just realized I said Ijuase and I've forgotten. It didn't click to me in that moment that some people who are listening are not Igbo. So Ijuase is
asking questions,
yes,
making inquiries,
detailed inquiries,
about the families.
Yes, it can be very intrusive.
Yeah. And again, it's a good question you raised that question, because back home as well, we as a family marry a man or a woman. That's why when I am married into a man's family, his brothers and his sisters will call me our wife. And when I go there, I cater for everybody because we are like one family. Everybody is united. And that is why my husband can look at my parents and say, oh, they're not as rich as we are. Let me build them a house so that when my children go to visit their grandparents, they have somewhere to stay. So these are the things that happen. But here in England, where we are made aware of our rights, it's me and my husband. I remember a girl saying to me that she met a Nigerian guy and he was talking about providing for his mother, how he spends his money and everything. And she said, why should I give my parents my money? At the end of the day, they should have their pensions and they should have their pensions, state pension and work pension. So why should I give them my money? I wouldn't give money. So I've told him if he's going to be giving his parents money, then I'm out of it. So I said, Anita, that's who we are. He says, oh, they should have the insurance. They should have that. And I said, no. And if you look at the point that we, parents, we sell our clothes, we sell our jewelry, we sell our land in order to invest in our children. As a woman, when you come over here, or a man, you come over here with your wife, you must never forget that this is our culture. You only have to find a decent way of doing it. If both parents of the man and the woman are still alive, I know a family, what they do is that they say that this is how much everybody gets a month for their maintenance. But if they need more and we can afford it, we give them. But if they don't, then we don't have to expend on them. And the wife is in control. It's actually the wife that gives more than the husband. Okay, so it brings back the point that this couple, the woman realizes that this is our culture. So she knows that she needs to give. So, but with these young girls, they come over and say, why are you buying things for your mother? You can't buy for your mother and everything. We need money and all of that.
But Jenny, sorry to interrupt you, but I think that with the young girls, I would place the blame on the men in this particular issue because it goes back to what you were saying, Carol. These people need to just slow down, get to know the person. First of all, you go there, as we say.
Exactly.
First of all, start with going to go find out.
Yes.
You will find out things. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that the curses of the parents will come upon you, but you need to find out
exactly
history and what they're known for.
Yeah.
And then take your time. That's what I don't understand this rush because if you don't take your time and get to know each other and say to the person, listen, these are my parents. And my parents are my responsibility. I'm talking about the young ones. I'm talking about back home. Back home, everybody knows that your parents are you need to look after them. But out here, like what you were saying about they have a pension, this and that. Explain to the girl, this is what we do. This is what I'm going to be doing. And if she wants to come along with you, knowing all that, then fine. Your parents, but these boys, they marry these girls, or maybe the ones even out here, they marry, everything is looking all nice and glam, and then they start to...
And again, there are children who are British-born Nigerians in the USA, in the UK. They still go through the same thing. And why are they going through the same thing? Because they are looking at the way their own parents lived and want to live that way. Do you know that there are women as old as me in this country who are still being beaten up by husbands, told what to do, controlled, and all of that? So a son of that sort of a relationship will bring another woman born in this country or Nigeria, anywhere else, and think that it's okay to hit a woman. He thinks that it's okay to disrespect a woman and shout at the woman. Poor girl may be coming from a background where they don't shout, they don't fight, so she finds it quite uncomfortable, and then she either leaves or gets the police. So I think, for instance, the one that happened in America, where this guy, Erinne boy, he killed himself, which was wrong but honorable, because if he decided to shoot everybody and shoot himself, we would have had more deaths happening. The two of them were born in the United Kingdom, in America, but things went wrong. So it goes back to Ijokwala Ajojo. Did you ask? Because in the olden days, there was a song they had where they said that the thing in marriage is very difficult, but it's only patient people who will go through it. But in order to go through it, you need to go and ask questions. And even if you need to go and ask the Dibia, the native doctor, to look at do his thing and see whether this is going to work, that you should go and do it, because you're getting involved in a lifetime arrangement. If you don't have children and their marriage breaks down, thank your God and move on. But once there are children, we call it uzommili. the way to the stream. Water is the source of life. There's nobody in this world who can live without water. So no matter what you do, you need to go to the stream and fetch water. So when you have a child between the two of you, it's like a bridge in and out of the stream. So no matter how you hate me as a woman or I hate you as a man, we will continue to see each other because as a child, if we don't see at school, we see at school events. If we see at marriage, we see at church because we are taking our children to places like that. So it's a question of asking as well and looking at the background of who you are going to marry. If you come from a background where there was always a fight, then prepare yourself for it. Ask your wife, your future wife or husband, what do you think about this? I don't like this. What do you think? There are children who come up and say, immediately I see the behavior of my mother in a woman that I'm dating, I walk away. Yeah. Immediately I see the behavior of my father, the controlling behavior, abusive controlling behavior in my father, of my father in this young man, I walk away. So there is need for us to have conversations. What do you actually want to achieve out of this marriage? As I say to people, marriage is not by fire, by force. You need to know when it is working. If it's no longer working, there should be no bitterness. You should have conversations and say, look, I don't think that this is working. You're not meeting my expectations, and I believe I'm not meeting yours. Why don't we sit down and talk about it?
But I think, Jenny, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you about people walking away. But I'm still focused on people out here. And it hits me that even though we're all out here, we're still programmed as if we were back home. Yeah. So we still worry about what people are going to say back home, you know. But we're not back home, we're out here. So we need to act as if we're out here when things break down. When things break down back home, people can go to Umun and they can be talking. Out here, when things break down, or let's say, for example, back home, if a man hits a woman, if they're a good family, the Umun can come and tell the man, stop it. Here, it's a different. So,
it's you and your husband.
Yeah. So I think that people out here, because I'm still, in my head, I'm still thinking, why are all the marriages just falling apart?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. You see, when you think, what the point you raised is very important as well, because I have spoken to couples and I say, guy, you live in the United Kingdom, but your head is still at home. This is not how we do it at home. I remember a child saying to the mother said, oh, you can't marry this person because they don't understand our culture and all of that. And he said, Mom, you're such a hypocrite. If your culture is so superior and important, why did you raise me here? And worse still, you sent me to a private school in this country from secondary until university. He went to Cambridge and he said, all the people I socialized with and I knew are English people. I go to parties with them, we drink together, we do things together, and their culture is my culture, which is the only culture I know. How many times did you take me to Nigeria? You never did. But what you want to do is to take me to Nigeria to go and bring a wife. I'm not looking for a servant. I want a partner. I want a companion. So I am never going to marry that your Nigerian person. If you want one, go and grab one for yourself.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that the numbers, the staggering numbers, because every day, like, I'm sick and tired of reading about new relations, another marriage breaking down. I think, and I may be wrong, but I think that the root is in the fact that we are out here, but we're still wanting to marry as if we
are at home. Yeah, and
exactly. It's not. It's the younger generation are not.
It's not going to work. It's just like me. From when I was little, I knew myself. I'm quite vocal. Everybody knew me. I'm quite gregarious. I want to play. I want to do things. I want to climb tree with boys. My friends are more boys than girls. But when I got married, I didn't get to know my ex-husband. He didn't get to know me. And he didn't quite understand why I had so many male friends. There was nothing other than friendship, because some of the boys, I could beat them up and fought with them and all of that. When girls had problem, I was like the lead person saying, come, bring it on, I'll beat you up. But my ex-husband didn't quite understand that. So because he didn't quite understand that, he believed that every man I spoke to, I was having something to do with them. And I kept saying, no, it's not that way. They're my friends. So when you talk about things like that, it's a question of not really understanding who you are and trying to condition me to be who you want me to be. Forgetting the fact that I am an individual, I have my personality. I have my desires. I need to respect you as well, and I need to respect you too. You need to respect me too. But because he's a man, whatever he said was okay. And if I had lived in this country with him, it would have been a different ball game, because I would have run away earlier.
You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The numbers.
Yes.
The staggering numbers.
Exactly.
I feel that the staggering numbers are simply because people are out here, people are empowered, people know the law, and when things are not working...
And another thing, Nigeria does not encourage women to have financial independence. And you also have men who will say, my wife will never earn better than me. In Nigeria, a man is a businessman. He's making his money. If his wife, a lot of them prefer their wives to be teachers, whether it is what they want to do or not. So she's earning a little. He maintains control. A friend used to say, I don't know how much my wife earns, but this girl is a spendthrift. She's always asking for money. My woman, do I know how much you earn? But he was happy that he was earning more. But what we forget is that a lot of our people, like my Igbo boys, a lot of them are traders. We are very good business people. So all these posh Nigerian celebrities you see, a lot of them do not have half the education that wives have. And it gives them joy to say, I'm married to a medical doctor. I'm married to a lawyer. So in Nigeria, you may be a lawyer, you may be a medical doctor. Your husband can build a big hospital for you. You don't even know what's going on there. It's in your name. Doctors are managing it. You have a pharmacy. You don't even know what's going on there. You're just a wife, a trophy wife, and he goes everywhere with you. But if anything happens and you come to the UK and then you realize that you can actually work with your qualification, and you start working, or things have gone wrong and the man has come over here, all of you have relocated. And I know a lot of people are relocating because of the insecurity in Nigeria. They want their wives to come over here with their children to make sure that the children are safe. But in order for the men to get their papers, some are still running their businesses at home, but they're staying here to qualify so that they can get their papers. So you can see a man who goes out every day, making a lot of money, bringing money home, taking control of everything, not being able to assimilate into this system because he hasn't got the qualifications. The only thing he could do maybe be a security guy or Uber driver, but his wife is a medical doctor bringing in £100,000 a year. And his friends will say, how are you managing with her? And everything that girl does, he would turn it around to say she's disrespecting him. If you are not working and I'm working full time, why should I come back after my shift, cook, clean, wash, feed the children, take them to school and everything? What are you doing? I met a guy in my local market, very nicely dressed, and we started talking. He said that the biggest thing England has done for him is that he has realized his importance in his children's life. He's a medical doctor. Wife is a medical doctor. She got a job before him. And the girl's auntie warned them that this is not a country where you have house girls. He said, my parents gave us house girls. Immediately I finished and we got married. But now we have to do everything. So it has made me closer to my children. My wife did shift at night. She's at home sleeping. So I came out with our daughter to go and do shopping, so we will cook. So this is a man who has actually imbibed the culture here, and he's happy. But there are people who will say, she's working, and you are now the houseboy going to buy food and everything. So it's a question of trying to adapt to the culture of where you have been or where you are living. And the girls as well, the women, don't take it for granted when a man is actually learning how to be a man in a foreign country. Don't take it for granted.
Do you have something to add?
Yes, I do have something.
There's something you said, I'm going to come back to.
Yeah, I do have something to add. The thing is, most of the time, what I noticed is that men always try to control women. And that could be a problem in a marriage where because you've got that macho thing from your culture in Nigeria or wherever that I'm the man, I'm in charge. And even though you're in charge, you're claiming to be in charge, but you're not the one earning all the money. You're not the one who is actually running the home. So because your wife is bringing the money and everything.
Is that when they come over here?
Over here.
Okay.
Yeah. When they come over here. So the wife probably is earning more than the men. And he wants her to remain as that faithful,
Even though she's
hardworking wife. You know, sometimes they even want you to be a housewife.
Or they even want to put your salary in their bank account. They will give you pocket money.
That's it. Some people they're doing it here.
Yeah.
Because I've heard someone telling me that story that I work and my money goes into my husband's account. Then he will give us our feeding money and all of that. But some girls brought up in this country is not going to accept that because this is her money. She earned it because she's working hard for this money. So you can't try to control somebody who is already independent. Yeah, forcing her to be dependent on you. So immediately you don't have that understanding that I'm earning more money than you. But the girl,
It's our money.
Yeah, it's our money. So, and the girl is giving all the respect that she can to the man, but this man is not seeing it that way. As far as he's concerned, she's always showing off because she's earning more.
But can I flip this? And I'm talking about the Japa people because we're still talking about people that live here. And I think for our generation, it's mostly people that were successful back home and they moved here. My issue is and Jenny, I don't know whether you will agree with me on this. Why is it that a lot of women, when they were in Nigeria and the man was the main earner, they were happy to be kept women or to not even touch their salaries and live off the men, right? When they come here and, like you said, the man has to now do some kind of menial job just to stay here and get his papers. And she's now the main breadwinner here. Why is it that we seem to struggle to manage that role?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Why do we then have to now be horrible to the man?
Yes.
Because we're now earning more. When for 15 years, for example,
he's been earning.
And you were living a nice life.
That is another issue. It goes back to what I said. Why did she marry him?
Okay.
She married him because she needed. It's a means to an end. She needed to escape poverty. So she respected the fact that he fed her and she didn't have anybody else to care for her. So now, and the guy would have been horrible sometimes because he was tired. There was a lot of pressure on him. He may have acted, in a manner that she did not like, but she had no choice. She had to deal with it. So now when she comes over here, whatever drove her to him, which is maintenance and financial support, she now has it. She doesn't need him anymore. But for me, I always say to women, if he was good enough earning and caring for you and you respected him, you must extend the same quality of respect to him now that you're earning better. And you must look at the good old times. And for me, it would be so wonderful for me that I'm able to support him. There's a girl in America. I love this girl. She's so young and her husband is older than her. But you can, if you want to pick a fight with her, say anything about her husband. The husband brought her from Nigeria, encouraged her to go to uni. She read nursing, she passed. He pushed and pushed and pushed her. She's now got PhD in nursing, right? And this guy is an ordinary, I think he was lecturing or sometime, but on his bed, I think it was his 60th birthday, she bought a brand new Mercedes for him. And the guy didn't know. So he was at the party and everything. They said, oh, let's go out. Somebody had come and they needed to. So they unveiled the car. This guy broke down and cried. And she said, he is my king. He's my everything. There was no way in my life I dreamt of coming to America. And even to come here, this guy had looked after our children, looked after me. He had double job. He did mini cabin and all of that. So the time has come for him to rest. So he is my husband. Whoever wants to tell me that he's older than me or anything, that's your problem. He loved me. He looked after me. It's my time to look after him.
So this is a girl who appreciates good things.
Exactly.
When it is happening to her.
Exactly.
So she wasn't like selfish.
No.
In any way or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think this also points to this thing about women marrying, and I heard somebody use that phrase, I think earlier on today, women marrying the job but not the man.
Yes.
So that's what we're seeing. So Jenny, I think that it all boils down to, I think you summarized it well, because it all boils down to marrying, what you marry for, is what you're saying. If you married for love, whether you live in Nigeria or you live in the diaspora, if things happen, hopefully you can manage it. And if you can't manage it, then you go your separate ways. Because
nicely, yeah, nicely.
Go your separate ways, nicely. And that, but if you marry for something else, then if things go wrong,
it goes wrong.
It goes
terribly wrong.
Because you've lost the reason why you're married.
And you see, for me, I do not think that there's any need to kill anybody. No. I do not think that there's any need for violence. You know me, I'm a strong-willed person, but there's nothing I fear in my older years as violence. You can't even shout at me. If you shout at me, I'll say sorry and walk away and I'll never talk to you. Because in me, there's no need for that. We can have a conversation. So when you come to a point where you feel that whatever brought you together is no longer there, sit down, talk about it. If you need counseling, go for counseling, get matrimonial support, and then move on. Recently, I was advising a couple. The girl said to me, you always marry for something, and if you get what you want, what do you want anymore? So I said, oh, that's fine. And then I said to them, look, I think you have options. The options you have is go for counseling to see whether you can reignite the fire that brought you together. If you can't, then do a trial separation, because if the two of you are living together and you keep saying, oh, my husband is useless, he doesn't do anything. I've asked you, what single thing that he used to do that he still does now? Or he doesn't do, she says she can't see any of those things anymore. So I said, that means that whatever brought you together is gone. You are still what he wants, but he is no longer what you want. So you try these three things: counseling, marriage counseling. Try it for 3-6 months. If it doesn't work, do trial separation. If it doesn't work, you know that it cannot work, go ahead and divorce. You must always remember there is nothing wrong with being divorced, because that's another mentality at home. Some people will say, oh, she's not married. Oh, she's no longer married. In my own case, my mother was Sierra Leonean, my father Nigerian. They got married here. It didn't work. They separated. I can tell you the number of times people mocked me and said, oh, well, we didn't even think you're going to live in this family for so long. After all, your parents were not together. And because of that, I was trying to make it work when it was not working. So when it got to the point, my father called me and said, Pet, you know one thing? You are my daughter. You're very special. There's nothing wrong with you. The truth is that you and your husband are like two parallel lines that will never meet. The only way they can meet is for one to bend and meet the other one. And knowing you're very strong-willed, it's not going to happen. And I can see your husband is the same way. So I will take it upon me to be blamed. Get out of this marriage. It is not working. Go your separate ways. And when I came back, it was such a big thing. My own grandmother, who is in the village, she said, oh, she's so thankful because she didn't know that I was going to come back alive. So she's going to ask her houseboy to go and kill the goat in her back. Let's cook and do a ceremony. Wow. And instead of my family saying, oh my God, we are so ashamed, she's now shamed us, nobody could tell me anything. Yeah, nobody. So this question of being shamed, there's nothing. I keep saying to people, Chichi, I know I'm stressing this point too much. My mentality about marriage, there is no marriage in a coffin. There is no marriage in a grave. There is no marriage in heaven or hell. I have never seen a woman or a man who died and came back. They said, oh, we didn't want you because you're still married. Go and continue marriage. No. And the way the scripture says this is that the day I die, I have to account to God for whatever I did. So if saving my life while I'm here and I can is a sin, let God judge me when I get there. So you must not worry. And those people you're worried about, you did not marry to please society. You married to please yourself. And since as yourself, you're no longer happy. Walk.
Okay, so I think I have something, and I'm digressing, but it's still kind of to do with family units. So a few days ago, there was some kind of conversation about when a couple are together and the marriage is not working, right? Somebody was suggesting that they should still stay together because the father or the mother is still a good parent, even if they're not good for each other. So they were saying that they should stay together in the household. And what I was saying was, if two people are not getting along, they're fighting every day, basketballs, whether it's physical or whatever. The children are there, and the children
Are observing.
And I don't feel like a parent can be a good parent if their child is watching them be abusive to the other parent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's our culture.
Yeah.
People came for me.
No, Chichi. If I was there, I will back you up. Because for me, I do not believe that it is right for children to be raised in toxic marriages. Yeah? If I am the type that will snap at my husband, talk to him carelessly, shout at him, threaten him, throw my shoes at him, right? And then you have my children trying to protect my husband. I am distressing my children. Exactly. Every child deserves the right to live in happiness and peace. In their own home. And again, what we are not observing is that we are creating a generation of failed marriages, because my daughter will grow up believing that the only way to deal with a man is to shout at him. My son will believe that the only way to deal with women is to run away. You don't want trouble because you don't want her to call the police on you. Or if it is the other way around, the man is punching, threatening, doing all sorts of things. His son will grow up believing that in order to talk to a woman and control her, because they learn control, you need to punch them, you need to disrespect them, you need to speak down on them and terrorize them. And then the girls the same. Two things will happen. When the girls get married, they are looking at their men and saying, I am not letting this guy treat me the way my dad treated my mom. So man may mean well and say, hi, darling. Oh, don't darling me. Because she's on the edge. And then the son will grow up and say, I am not letting a woman treat me the way my mom treated my dad. There was a guy that said to his mother, and she cried. She said to me, Chika, my son thinks that about me. And he never said that. He said, look, woman, let me tell you something. You can't control me. I'm not my dad. And dad, I don't really know what's going on in you. Why are you married to her? Divorce her. I'm behind you. Why are you taking all this rubbish? Don't speak to me like that. I'm not your husband. I don't know. He behaves like a wimp. He picked his car and left. Wow. The woman called me and said, hey, you're very close to my son. Did he say anything about me? Was that the way he was feeling? And he never told me. So when I asked him, he was so angry. And you know what? He began to tell me things that happened even when he was a little. He remembered when his mother threw his father's things out, and the father was outside. He had nothing. He just picked a few things and left. And there was rain on his father's clothes. So he had to go and pick them up, and the mother beat him. So now the poor boy was just about to leave the house, and she said, come back here because we are talking. She said, no, don't speak to me like that. So we, like you said, we sow seeds of discord thinking that we are in control. We are not in control. When you say, oh, we are living together for the sake of the children, some people say we are co-parenting. I said, no, there's nothing like co-parenting. Some people say to me, we have an open relationship. I said, there's nothing like open relationship. Children are what they see. And the first role models any child could see will be their parents. Yes. You know, a boy will say, I love my dad so much, the way he loved my dad and everything, I'm going to do better than him. And that's what happens.
So you think that, I think that us as the older generation, we're now the older generation. Yes. What do you think? Because we're going to round up soon. What do you think we should be doing? Because our own time is slowly passing by in terms of marriages. For the younger ones growing up, what do you think our role should be? What role should we play to try and minimize, if we can, or reduce, if we can,
the breakdowns?
These relationships that are springing up that we're seeing, and I went for a traditional wedding last year.
It's gone. The marriage is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. I went for a wedding last year, and I think it was that night, actually, the night
the marriage,
of the wedding,
that the marriage finished.
This is not a lie.
Wow.
I hadn't even dry cleaned what I wore to the wedding.
And the marriage was gone.
It was a big wedding here in London.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I feel like I don't know what their parents are doing. I don't know whether parents are doing enough, or whether maybe the Gen Z are not listening to their parents. I don't know what it is.
No, Chichi, as I said, children are what they see. Yeah, we are human beings are what is the word? Objects of their experiences. Yeah, things that we experience in life, we need to use our own experiences to impact positively on our children. One thing I say to people, marriage is one of the most beautiful things in life if you get it right. And in order to get it right, there must be love, there must be understanding, there must be tolerance, there must be compromise. Yeah. So I think that in that sort of situation, when children want to get married or they're dating each other, you must be bold enough to sit them down and ask questions. My dad said to me that his role as a father was to advise me on what he thought was right, given who he is and his experiences. But I owed myself the duty to make the right decision because I am different from him. What I need is also different from what he needs. So our role is to talk to our children. And there's one big thing that we don't talk about, Chichi. We don't talk about sex in marriages. I do not believe that any relationship can survive without sex. Men naturally, men are naturally creatures of, men are naturally very sensual, creatures of sex. If you have 10 men in this room, there will be just about 2 of them who are not so sex driven. Any little thing about sex, they're excited. So if you go and marry a woman who is not equally driven, either because she is just that way, or she's not in love with you, or she had been made to believe that sex is just something you do to have children. I was raised that way. Sex is something you do to have children. So if you're doing more, it must be a sin. Okay? So we need to look at that. And Chichi, in order for a man and a woman to have sex, there must be meeting of mind. Yes. The mind must meet before the body. I say to people all the time, the physical sex we have is an expression of how the heart, the spirit, and the soul feels. If I am not in tune with your own spirit and we are not meeting at each other, no matter how you try to force it, it's not going to happen. That's why you have rapes in marriages. So I think that we should talk sex when we meet. I have a guy who said to me that he met his wife. He said, look, I love everything about you. But the problem is I've been in relationships before and it didn't work. I therefore decided that I don't want to be married. I don't want to have children from various women. So basically my issue is that I love sex and I love women to love me from their hearts. I don't want them to put it on. So you need to be me and I be you in order that we can express ourselves freely in our beds. And this is very important to me. If you get it right sexually, you can have anything you want from me. And she said, yeah. And she, yeah. And she,
you run.
Yeah. No, and she said it was okay. Yeah. And she said to me, she's actually met and over exceeded my expectations. So she knows that whenever I am low and I'm in bed, she knows she finishes what she's doing. She crawls into bed and she's touching me. Even if I don't want to have sex, the fact that she hugs me, touches my head, my ears, and says, so what's wrong with you? How was your day? That it makes all the difference. But if there's no meeting of minds and we're just together because I'm old enough to be married and everybody is talking about me not being married and my parents are unhappy that I'm married, immediately I get that ring. So mind your own business. Because leave me. This sex you're looking for, go and look for Oma shower outside.
But I think that, and I know people will come for me, but you know me, I'll always say what I want to say. I think that us older ones, I think that a lot of us are failing the younger ones by not having open and frank conversations.
100%.
Yes. But I also think, and that's not excusing what we're doing, but that's also because a lot of our mothers and fathers did not have those
conversation.
So do you see what I'm saying? So
yes.
We need to break it. Because yes, you're vocal about things. Not very few people are like you.
I'm very open about things like
open,
that. Yeah.
Because I talked about all of this with my boys.
Yes. You know, a couple.
Because your boys are your first. You are their first friend.
Yeah.
So you communicate with them about anything. And
my children discusses before they.
Amazing.
Yeah, before they got married, they discussed everything with me. They told me and we laughed about it.
Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 64.
Really? So you have this conversation, like frank and open conversation?
Yeah.
All the time.
You have to.
So my children are not shy to come to me.
That's amazing.
You have to.
I thought it was just Jenny.
No.
Is any person that I know
my children, you know, they normally say, oh, here goes mom again. I will ask. You know, and you know when they were growing up, I used to say to the boys, guys, one woman at a time. If you bring two in this house, I'll call a meeting of the two of them and say, there are two of you, so make una choose what they do. So you need to look at what is important to you. There's a man who will find a woman who can give him sex 24 hours. Whether she cleans, she washes on it, doesn't matter. He will do all the cleaning. He will provide. He will do everything. Yeah. There's a man who hates women who are lazy. But if he finds a woman who works, makes her own money, brings in money, and they're working, doing things together, building together, he will do anything for her. And the same thing, there are women like that as well. For me, I cannot tolerate a man who is lazy. You need to go out there. You can't do your own thing. And when you come back and you need help and you ask me, I'll be quite happy to give you. But if you think you want to sit down at home, judge me on how I dress and how I look and everything, it's not going to work. And again, some men will see girls who like their mini skirts and open bras and everything. They'll just be targeting, once I get married to her, she won't dress like that anymore. No, don't tell a woman how to dress. With time, she understands her body. She knows when to slow down. She knows when to hype up and the right places. If you liked me dressed in my mini skirts or no skirts at all, so why are you why are you controlling me?
Going back to what you people were saying, and I know I'm pushing on this issue, but I think that if more parents
were open,
I think that the children would have better relationships.
Understand what marriage is.
I really do think so. I think that, and from doing this, when I started this podcasting, I was thinking, I'm going to do a podcast. People are going to talk. Nigerians are very, very conservative.
Very, very. And
they will not share anything. People will WhatsApp me, but when I want to have conversation,
they won't say anything.
So if they're not having it with me, even anonymously.
Yeah. There's a guy, he is so controlling, he is so he's very wealthy, he can give you whatever you want, but his wife is so scared of him. So something happened, I was talking to him on the phone and he said something and I cursed him off. And when I cursed him off, he says, how dare you, Chika? You can't speak to me like that. I'm not your age and everything. I said, well, if you spoke to me in a manner that does not show me that you're mature enough to be talking to me at my level, I will insult you very, very well. I insulted this man. He's a very good friend of mine. And do you know, his wife said that she was sitting on edge because they were sitting in the back of the car, the driver driving, and her husband was shouting and all of that. Do you know, she called me later on and said, Chika, the first person and the woman to talk to my husband, I will kill a cow for you. To talk to my husband, that thing you told my husband hurt him, but he needed to be told. And whenever she talks, she says, shut up, don't talk, I'm talking. And she says, okay. And she will say sometimes, so are you talking to me like that? So if I talk to you like that, what are you going to do? So when I said to him, if you speak to your wife like that and you think I can be your friend, that we can be friends, I'll wash you down. So now he knows me. He says, oh, you are a mad woman. I say, yeah, I'm mad.
No, I think that it's very important to have these open conversations.
Very important.
With our children.
With my daughter, my daughter's very quiet. But I always try and just keep talking to her.
Your daughter is your best friend, first and foremost.
And I think also, as African parents, we don't ever want to look like we've made any mistakes in our lives, right? So those conversations, a lot of people struggle because you don't want to show, you don't want your child to know your feelings. You
made a mistake,
but how are you having frank conversations if your child is not knowing about your mistakes?
Yeah, but your child might even know without you telling them, because actually, after all, they see what you're doing. So they're picking up all of those things. So if you're not talking about it, then they just know that you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they know about it.
Yeah. You know, one time somebody was interested in going out with me. And my son said to me, Mom, you know, you're a master of bad choices. You're a master of bad choices. Other women will go and find rich men. You will bring one and say to me, oh, he hasn't got a job. He needs help. Let's help him. Don't bring anybody that will help you.
So that means that
they observe me. They know my weakness is that I'm very compassionate and I try to help people. He said, don't bring anybody here to help.
Your own is on another level. Jenny wants to I'm digressing, but this is funny, right? So Jenny and I were on a case together. Jenny's client had issues. I don't know if you remember this case. It's an old case.
Okay.
Jenny's client had drug issues, right? When I went to Jenny's office for something else, I parked at the Morrisons by your office.
Okay.
I saw Jenny's client there. Mm-hmm. Jenny on another day was telling me how she gave the guy £10. He's a drug addict. Why would you understand? Why he's a druggie? So I can understand people feeling that your own compassion is another. We're not using your compassion.
That reminds me. There's a guy I represented many years back, and then I thought I got him sorted and he was okay. All from the blues. This January, he kept sending me messages, and I said, "What is it now?" He said, "Oh, can I give them £100 and then they will give me back later on?"
And tell me that you didn't give this guy.
I did.
Oh my God.
I did because I love his son. This guy, I feel like this guy is one of the sweetest young boys, but he found himself in the midst of two crazy people. They don't care.
Just give me £250. I'll give you back. Guys,
so I know.
We're digressing, but
I know.
I think that today we plan to talk about Nigerian marriages and diaspora, but we've talked about so many different things.
Yes.
I think that our culture plays a really strong role in
marriages.
Yeah. And I feel that our culture is lovely. We love it. But we must learn to
be selective. Yeah. Use the ones that are good for us. And we also, because what the mistake we are making is that we are living in a sort of confused state of mind.
Absolutely.
Our men and women are conventional when it suits them, but if it doesn't suit them, it becomes our culture and tradition.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
And as far as I know, even members of my family and friends, they know me. I always say to people that I choose and select what I abide by as my culture and tradition. And I am not bound by them because in this country where I'm living, if there are going to be changes in law, we are consulted. The majority of these things that you people are looking at laws, we are things that men made for their convenience. In those days, men were hunters, like guys from my family. They were hunters and farmers. They married so many wives so that they can help them to do their farm. And then they get animals and bring back to them. They cook, they eat and everything. These women had nothing, no means of livelihood. I couldn't have spent time going to university, doing everything. And you tell me that I can't work. I have to be a housewife. It's not going to work. So we need to actually look at what works for us. And again, something that our men do. We are living in diaspora, right? And there's no house girl, there's no driver, there's no cleaner, there's no a butler and all of that. So we are everything. So you come into this country in the morning. You dress up quickly in your suit and you go to work. You haven't asked how the children are going to get to school. Your wife has to figure that out, send the children to school, bring them back. On her way from nanny, she goes to Morrison. She will go and buy food. She brings them back and then she's cooking and then changing them, getting them ready for the night. And the food is ready. She feeds them and then puts them to bed. When they're in bed, she then comes out to clean and tidy the kitchen, prepare for the next day. But in the meantime, you came home before her, you're sitting, putting your feet on the table, listening to the news, and then when food is ready, she calls you to come and eat, you will come and eat, and then by 10, 11 o'clock, she's still putting the things right, and 1 o'clock, she comes into bed. And the next minute you want to jump on her. Is she your slave?
Is she a machine?
And she says, "Guy, I'm tired. I can't do it." Oh, every day you're tired. Yes, she is supposed to be tired. If she's taking the children to school in the morning, bring them back. If she's going shopping, come home early because you're not good at shopping and she knows it. Tidy up things, prepare for the children. When the children come, let them run to you, daddy, daddy, daddy. You sit with them, look after them so that they don't distract her when she's cooking. And then you stand in the kitchen, talk to her and see how her day has gone. You do things together, put the children in bed together, go to bed at the same time. Don't go to bed 2 hours and sleep. And when she comes in, you're waiting for her.
I think too, Carol, the word that you said was adapting.
Yes.
That's
because they don't adapt to the environment they have come into.
Yeah.
So they're still coming here with the same idea that this is my wife and she's supposed to do everything in the house.
They refuse to adapt. And that's for people that come in. But for people that were even born here, because the younger ones are picking up bad habits. Then that goes back to what you were saying. You can't pick and choose.
Yeah.
You can't. There's a saying in Igbo that if something goes on for a long time, it
becomes a tradition, culture.
Becomes culture. So the ones that were born here, you can't pick and choose. You can't say I'm British born or I'm American born or whatever. We need a 2-income household. You pick all these nice things, but then you still want to have the traditional
marriage
gender role.
Yes,
it doesn't work that way.
You know what I say.
You are the woman. You do all the cooking. You do all the cleaning. You do all the.
But you have to decide.
Chichi, I
do
don't
all
know.
the school runs. Because you're the woman.
Yeah, you may have seen some of my posts where I say to people that domestic chores and finances have no gender. If the two of you are bringing in money together, it's your money. The fact that the woman brings in more money makes no difference. It's less. Your money. If she brings it less, it's not your money. You two go to work at the morning at the same time or different times. When you come home, the fact that you are the man washing and cooking doesn't make you less of a man. The fact that you are the woman earning the money and bringing it doesn't make you taller and bigger than the man who then becomes abusive. Everything must be done together, and you learn to appreciate each other. If you have a Nigerian man who is not being a traditional man, who wants to be a dad and a husband, he takes the children to play groups, he helps to teach them things, he helps to clean and wash at home, respect and love him. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Don't always stand up, you useless man, you are this. If your husband is useless and one day he's done something better, oh my God, Nadalu, thank you so much, you've done very well. Oh, this saves me time. I won't have to bother.
This point that we just talked about, we talked about the men. But the women also. Also, you cannot want your husband to take care of you, or for his money to take care of you, but then you don't want to put in your own effort. So we have to. And what you were saying about it's like a lot of people are confused, or they're conveniently confused about how they're living. Are you living like someone who lives out here in the diaspora,
or do you want to live like somebody who's in Nigeria?
Yeah, so I think these are conversations that people need to have actually.
I know,
before they even marry.
Exactly. And like some of the ladies, they are here. This is the one that scares the living hell out of me, right? There's a girl who her husband married her from Nigeria, brought her over here. He's a PhD holder doing some research or something, and then she's a medical doctor. She then came here. He supported her all the way through. For some reason, unfortunately, she was not able to pass the PLAB thing, but he was doing everything, supporting her, never complained and all of that. But the little money that she was making, all she did was send it back to Nigeria, bought land, built house, and rented it out. And then she built house for her parents. Immediately, she was able to. He even paid for her to go to Ireland or Scotland to go and study and pass the transfer exam there, and then used it to return here. For the 1 year that she was there, he paid. He did everything. So he was very supportive. But immediately, she got everything she wanted. She started calling the police on him and saying that he's an abuser, he's this and that. And the fortunate thing, and unfortunate for her, is that her children have become very close to their father. When the police came first time, second time, they kept saying, no, it was not dad, it was mom. It was mom. And then on one occasion, the police said to the guy, you have a choice. If you want to continue to live with her and the children, we're taking the children away into protection, protective custody. Because, they're witnessing things they're not supposed to witness. But if you don't want to, then she leaves now. She was quite shocked. So she left. They forced her out and then said to the man, unless you get a non-molestation or they got this, and got this. That was how that marriage ended. Wow. And now she's single on her own. Yeah, she's single on her own, and the children don't want to know, even to have contact with her. They don't. The school has tried and everything because,
that means the lady was ungrateful.
Very ungrateful.
Because if the man had supported her all the way, and she feels okay, I'm fine. So now you could just go your way. And let me.
That's the story.
That's what happens all the time. It happens all the time, and I don't know why men can tolerate us when we become bigger than we were when we married them, but we can't tolerate them when we become bigger than we were when we married them.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, so that mentality needs to change. Your money is your husband's money. Your husband's money is your money. You must do things together. You must be transparent with each other. If you feel that your parents need more help than his own parents or anybody else, you must discuss it and then give them more. But at the end of the day, to round up Chichi, I think that there is need for a return of mutual love and respect. If there is no mutual love and respect, then please end it, because this idea, we are living together for the sake of the children. No, you're living together for your own selfishness, because you don't want people to know that you're no longer married. Marriage does not help anyone to go to heaven. You are, you are destroying the children. So if it's not working, save the children. That's my point.
Carol, do you have any final words?
Yeah, my final word is the same thing like I've been saying from the beginning. Make sure that you love, that is, really love that person that you want to marry. Because if you don't love the person itself, not what they have. If you don't love that person, then there is no need going into that marriage.
Marriage or love and nothing else.
Yes.
Save everybody.
That's right.
Yourself and your children.
Yeah, love it. Love, yeah,
because
love
when
is.
you marry for love, it's gonna last.
Yeah.
No love is.
Yeah.
You love him.
Yeah.
That's why you married him.
Yeah.
He loves you too back. This is why you're getting married. But if there's no love, then there's nothing.
Love is tolerant.
Yes.
Love is patient.
Love is kind.
Love is kind.
And
love is
respectful.
understanding and respectful.
Yeah.
But if you don't have love, you can never manage a relationship.
No.
Yeah, it will never.
is
And stop comparing. Stop comparing as well. Stop comparing your husband or
To
your
any
wife
other
with
person.
anybody, because until you are inside that marriage that you think is better than yours, you don't know what's going on. So it's just love, as she said, and also mutual respect and compromise. Yeah.
I think we'll have many conversations about this. So, my lovely ladies, thank you. It's been fun catching up. We thought we were going to do a quick one.
Yeah.
Now we're talking for an hour.
Thanks for the privilege to be part of your podcast. This is interesting.
It's very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Oh, we just met, and I feel like I know you, and I like how you make your points.
She's a retired teacher, lecturer,
So guys, I'm going to round up.
Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us. We were just going back and forth. This is not scripted. We'll just talk. We'll just banter.
Yes.
And that's how I like my podcast to be. I don't want to write down any long notes, because they're not natural and everybody feels under pressure.
Yeah.
So we've done our banter, and guys, I hope you guys picked up anything. Let me know your thoughts. Send me messages, like, share, comment. And until next time, it's peace and love. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.